Okay, like that.
Yeah.
And apologies for my wonky square.
Remember today, folks, we will come from this to a beautiful UI and everything will be
Well,
running
actually,
nicely.
it's,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's one of those things that when you have an idea, right, you kind of like obsess over it for a period of time and kind of begin to get kind of like strong opinions, strong views,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But kind of in the idea I've got is that maybe you've got kind of like you start here.
Yeah.
This is your starting point. And effectively, it's like, I'm not sure if you remember in the, this is probably before you were born, Sally, but we used to have these really kind of cool, like RPG and like adventure games and strategy games that had a series of tiles.
Yeah.
In,
This
in
reminded
hex.
me of Catan, by the way.
What's that?
Do you know Settlers of Catan?
No.
It's a board game and like the tiles, they actually reminded me of it, which is really cool. Like you build roads from it, but I think this is more
Okay,
like
well,
in the
it may be related then because
yeah.
it's just kind of like quite a well known sort of, you get the idea, right? And
Yeah.
you've kind of got the end here. This is what
Yeah.
trying to move in this
Yeah.
direction, right?
Yeah.
And this is finish. And the idea is you start here, and let's say for example, you decide that you want to start on in this tile here,
Yeah.
right? Well, you can only move one position, right? So I could move
Okay.
here, here, here. Well, I should select where I start on the first one.
Yeah. So we can think it as
If I'm
the
here,
levels, right? Like the very left side is level 1. And if you want to go to level 2, you can go to the neighboring tiles only.
yeah. I think that's the thing is you can move to neighboring tiles. God, I've made a right mess of this. Let's clean it up a little bit so it's clearer. So I think, yeah. So the idea is that you start here and you can go to any one of these tiles.
Okay.
And then when you're on a tile, you can only then move adjacent, right?
Yeah.
And so your playing surface effectively. And then, so the idea is that when you land on this, it then basically launches up effectively question. So this is basically the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Quick question. Do you want to show, okay, 2 questions. So I'm assuming the difficulties of the questions will be different. So do you want
yes.
people to see the possible next questions can do a strategy for everything at once? Or do you want them to, for example, start with the level 1 and
yes,
explore
exactly.
the level 2 later or something?
So let's do that, right? Each of these tiles, right? Okay.
By the way, we have Julian from our team is watching us. Hi, Julian. Yeah, nice. And we have like right now a few more folks watching as well. Thank you everyone for joining. If you have any comments, questions, drop it to the chat. We are going to be reading them.
Yeah, the first thing is color, right?
Yeah.
The color will indicate difficulty, right? We can come up with a scheme, and here basically you got like basically some like, this is like help. Help will tell you basically, what the color scheme is, all that kind of stuff. There's a kind of help legend kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
First thing is that we got colors, right? And that's one way that we can implement strategy, right? Because you could take the easiest path, right? Or you could take the hardest path, but the difficulty means a points thing. The harder the question, the more points, right?
Yeah.
Points multiplier. No, but we've also got a time. We need a timer, right? Because it's going to be tight. It's going to be boxed at either 10 or 15 minutes, whatever we want to set, right? And you're on a countdown, right?
And a timer in the challenge itself, or for example, if a question is like one question is hard, I can spend 5 minutes. But if a question is easier, I can just spend 1 minute.
I think we should do it. We shouldn't put timers on each individual question. I'll tell you why. Because it may well be that they need to go to the Kiro to get help with that. We don't know how long that's going to take, right?
Yeah.
And I think overall, we don't really care how long take on a question, maybe. And what we care about is the overall time for the challenge. And I think also what we say is that more time you've got left over, any leftover time gets converted to points. In your interest to do it quickly, right? But this is where the strategy comes in, right? Play more tiles to get more points, but that takes up more time, right? Or you can play the easiest ones, get more time, and that gives you points, right? and people experiment with, which is maybe the best strategy, can make the game like a bit more addictive, a bit more like, okay, I'm going to try again a different strategy, right? I think color of the tiles is one thing, but I think also we want to have, like any good game, right? They have like kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but they'll have something that you can do. Like, let's say, for example, Joker, right?
Yeah.
You can play a Joker. For example, you click on Joker, and when you click on Joker and then you click on a tile, let's say, for example, 3x is the points you get if you get it right.
Yeah. It's like boosts as well,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
But again, we let the player choose when they want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like adding strategy. You might, for example, want to do a boost on a really hard question to get the maximum amount of questions if they feel really super confident, right?
Yeah.
And there's the other things. I guess they call them like chances. When you play any game,
Yeah.
like Monopoly, or I was playing one at Christmas. I can't remember what it's called, but you pick a card and the card has got some random thing, right?
Yeah.
We can have a number of these things, like a picture, for example, maybe like, for example, some dice, or maybe something else, right? And when you click on that, it's going to give you something unexpected, right? And it's a risk.
Yeah.
You might, for example, it might say, you're going to get ×3 for the next question you get right, okay? Or you get your clock is frozen for 2 minutes, right? Things like that, right? You can do things like that. I think the idea is that this is the board, and to make it interesting, we can add things like that, right?
No, absolutely. This sounds like a really cool one, because I really.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it'd be interesting if people are watching.
Like, we need to think about more, like, let's say, I think with the like Joker, or we have already positive stuff. Like, maybe, just maybe, we can think of some like fall into the like whole industry kind of situation that they might lose points as well, just to make it fun, just to make it more competitive.
Well, that's where the chances are. If
Yeah.
this is basically win points, lose points. No, not loose. Let's do spelling right.
No. Let's do lose, man. Let's do lose. Let's do it more exciting.
And then also points and time, right? I think that's because the other dimension of this, okay, is that this is all about getting points and getting a score, right? Players got to obsess around how they can maximize the amount of points they can get.
Yeah.
And also we want to keep it simple enough so that we can, create this in a reasonable amount of time, right? I think as a starting point, this is kind of in my head. What I had is when you click on this, basically on this bit here is where the challenge would be. And actually, I think the way I was thinking is that I'm not actually sure whether this actually is the right structure, because I think it may be too cramped. Because I think if we have the question here, for example, then we need a sufficient space for the
how do you
player.
envision this? Like, do you
Well,
for people like they don't know our setup, do you want to optimize this for a laptop page, or do you want to optimize this for a huge screen like 100? Or
good point. Actually, really good point. Okay, let's go back to the things here, the critical things, right?
Yeah.
What we need to make sure is that actually it works on laptops.
Any preference as a laptop size?
I mean, most laptops these days do HD, right? Resolution 1980 by 1024.
Yeah,
I think that's probably fair to say. Is it 1980?
1920 and 1080, I think.
Okay, all right.
HD, right? 1920, 1080, yeah.
1920
and 1080, yeah.
1800.
No, 1080, but
1080.
Exact.
1080. Okay, I think that's what we basically, the laptops we have on our challenges is effectively what these are going to be run on, right? So that was a good spot there, Salih.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, for the challenge, okay, because I think the way I was thinking this is that if we have the game screen, when a player clicks on a question, maybe that we either get rid of the screen and we have basically, what we need. We've got the question. which comes from a question bank.
Mhm.
We've then basically got an area where they can submit the answer. And because some of these are going to be coding questions, but not always, right? It has to be kind of like a very basic editor, right?
I mean, we can change it according to the type of the question as well, right? Like if it's a multiple choice question, we will just show the radio buttons. And if it's multiple selection, we will just show the check mark.
Exactly. But importantly, okay, what we also need to make sure that there's also a submit button. And out of the way is we want basically a hint. The player can do hint, but lose points. If you click on the hint button, right, you're going to lose points, right?
Okay.
And then we want
do you know how many points?
I don't know. I think actually that's an interesting point. We are going to need to do a piece of work as we start writing this, right? To figure out what the actual scoring mechanics are and keep that super secret locked in a safe so that no one can figure out the right strategy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be losing points of some kind. But we also, I think, want to maybe up here have a pass back.
Okay. That's interesting.
But the thing is, right, if you think about it, right, if people just come up, people on the game board, as they're trying to figure out which question to go on, they might start off with the hard question, think, oh, this is too difficult, click on and want to go back, right, to an easier question. There has to be some penalty to this, right?
Yeah.
Either lose points or lose time, right? Say, for example, lose time.
I really like that. Like this has a proper gaming mechanism, and it's not like, okay, we will help you to finish it, but it's more like, hey, we will help you to learn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like strategize. And this is really important because if it's too easy, people will just turn that into more like a copy paste game. But if they strategize it, they will actually say that, hey, I'm enjoying this and I will play this again, or I will let the people around me know that they will play this game again as well. It's like any great game.
And I think also if people, I mean, I don't know if good games, people talk about and share how they played it, what worked for them, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is ever going to get to that level, right?
Yeah.
I can definitely see people exploring, experimenting different approaches to game more than once, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously is a good goal, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the answer about whether, we have to have a separate screen for every time someone, does it, or whether we can fit it all in this area here, right? And then have the buttons here. I think maybe some questions, like if it's multiple choice, that could probably fit nicely into the existing screen. Or maybe actually it's an overlay. Maybe actually what happens, it just gets overlaid. If it's a coding kind of like question, there's an overlay that then gets put over the game board. Maybe that's how it works.
It needs to be readable. That is the most important part.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think by we, I mean everyone in the world, like let's say able-bodied people, we take everything for granted. We think that, oh my God, like this is so great. And I'm sure they pick, for example, their fonts really small because they can read it. And then sometimes I read the screen and I'm like, nope, I can't see anything on that. Anything going on, I have no idea. Add more specified for their own features and giving them the space to be as big as they can, because we will also let people use the laptops and they will go to the laptop. Maybe they will enhance the screen. I don't want things to be cramped.
Okay.
Maybe having an overlay makes more sense.
Right.
Can actually go forward with it.
Okay. One thing, also, that we learned from the running the QDev challenge, is people wanted to have a copy. The copy button would copy the questions to the clipboard. They could then basically take that into Kiro and then give them a heads up, right? It just saves them having to figure out Control C, Control V, right? Which is not difficult, but let's say copy to.
But for the people, when you use AI, when you use Kiro, we are not going to deduct points. That's
no. But actually, I mean, thing is that there's nothing to. Oh, hello, I've lost Sally. Oh, I lost Sally. Or is it me?
I'm here.
No.
I got